lots to get into this week on a variety of fronts. Free agency, trades, and then a little bit off the field stuff that happened this week. Just very interesting talk. But we're going to begin with kind of the blockbuster of the offseason so far. So yesterday, the Denver Broncos traded 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a 5th-round pick, Drew Lock, Noah Fant, and Shelby Harris to the Seahawks for Russell Wilson. Wilson now joins the Broncos, who went 7-10 last year, last in the AFC West, and a team that has been searching for their guy since Peyton Manning retired. So the question begs, with Wilson being added to the Broncos in the division with Justin Herbert and Derek Carr, how much pressure does this put on Brett Veach to fix our defense?
I mean, adding Russell Wilson is definitely an asset to your team. You know, him alone and his statutes of what he's proven so far, dude's a top 10, you know, even in a bad year for the team overall. So it definitely, you know, adds value to the team. For whatever Denver gave up, you know, to get him, I think it's worth it. But it's kind of irrelevant because, you know, he's a part of the team now. What we have to do is make sure that we've made the right improvements to our team to get better. And the thing that Denver hurt us with was their ground and pound. Those 2 running backs, you know, kind of ran through us. It wasn't much of what the quarterbacks could do. It was the run defense. And to add Russell Wilson and his passing ability to an offense like that, you know, that's a definite upgrade and something that, you know, Veach, Andy Reid, and the rest of the staff will have to, you know, look at improving. You know, I don't know if we have the cap to go after a Bobby Wagner, and I saw he was released today. I think it saved them almost $17 million, and that'd be a big hit to us. You know, still, we don't know what's going to happen with, I think we're still up in the air with Tyrann Mathieu. So, but adding somebody like Bobby Wagner is a definite upgrade also to our defense. And but overall, yes, it does add a little pressure. But I think the offseason itself and then not achieving the Super Bowl adds pressure to what you need to upgrade with your team overall. You know, and I think we're trying to find ways now to ease up on the cap to have money to address the issues that we need to address. So.
Man, you know what? I think, man, it just tells you that the division just got more challenging. No doubt about it. I mean, we're talking about it. And I know E said top 10. Shoot, I think arguably, man, probably top 5, to be honest with you, just with his level of talent. And so.
Well, I was just saying top 10, even on a bad year for the
well,
team.
Yeah.
So,
no,
he's
yeah.
definitely the top quarterback.
Oh, yeah. And so, and I think that's what, you know, when you bring that type of talent over to, you know, the Broncos, what they already had, that's what they were looking for. They were looking for a quarterback. And then we're talking about a franchise quarterback that still has a lot of years still left in him. And he plays some really good ball. And if you place him around some guys, and you did a tremendous job in Seattle, you know, Veach got it. He has to address it. I mean, but Veach had to address it anyway, just because of what we had in the division to deal with. And then, of course, having to deal with it in the conference in itself. So now, like I said, it's just even more challenge to bring those guys in. And so the guy like Russell Wilson, who is very like methodic in the way he's doing things. He manages the game well. Doesn't really turn it over a ton. Very smart player. Very, very high caliber quarterback. You know, Veach has got to say, look, you know what? We got to get some guys, get some pass rush, against him. Like he said, Bobby Wagner would be a great addition. We got to get some boys up front, man. We had to get some guys up front. Definitely to stop him. And it's going to be a lot tougher. It's going to be a lot tougher. And so right now, just adding him, I think what the Broncos were 7-10 last year. I mean, you know, they without a doubt are being put into contenders, you know, no question about it. Now, look, I say this. Now, I like Noah Fant a lot in Denver. I don't know if they got the other tight end out there too. Was pretty good, but I don't think he's quite like Noah Fant. I think they might have to do something to kind of replace Noah Fant on offense with their tight end. But they got some receivers, no doubt about it. They got a running game. They got some guys who are going to be able to protect him. But Veach, if he's going in, I think everybody's kind of talking about it, and y'all could talk about this too. What do y'all think as far as what the Chiefs are looking for in the first round? So if we're looking for edge pass rusher, I know we're talking about, like you said, we don't quite know where Tyrann Mathieu is with this whole deal. I don't know. We got the money. I don't know if they want to sign him for the type of money he's asking for. And that's kind of probably the issue. It's been a lot of talk with those things going on. So, we're talking about that, maybe addressing, a safety. Definitely need, I think, another linebacker. We got a young linebacker core, but we need another guy, I think, with that, like a older guy, a general in the middle to kind of address those things since Hitchens not going to be there. So, what do y'all think? What do y'all think as far as first round? What are we looking at?
I don't know. Being in those rooms to figure out, what we benefit from mostly, everybody on the outside is going to say defense. That's because that's mostly where, we get the most inconsistent play at. Everybody's happy with what we have as a quarterback, as a tight end, and at receiver. So I think that most of the criticism that we get for the team comes defensively. Even though, I think with the last game, from what I read and kind of saw in the last game, Patrick just, didn't fulfill moments in the second half. But that's not a big concern about us right now. It's more so what we have defensively and what we're going to be missing and what we could possibly upgrade with. I think we got a great defensive lineman in Chris Jones. What do we keep on the outside? I don't know if we can keep Ingram. I don't know what the conversation is about that. I think there's talks about releasing Frank Clark, even though he kind of came through in the second half of the season. So I have no idea what we're going for. And I agree with you because we don't know what Tyron's asking for. And I think he's asking for top, 3 safety money. So,
yeah.
There's a lot that goes into what you need and what you can afford.
Yeah. What you say, Marcus? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, based on Twitter and seeing what Tyrann Mathieu's been saying over the last few days, he's been deleting a lot of tweets. It sounds like he is gone. I mean, the report is that he's testing the market, and just based on what he's tweeting and deleting and to respond to a lot of Chief fans, it sounds like he is gone. And what I read was Patrick Mahomes has told PFN reported this, that Patrick Mahomes told Brett Veach that he wants him to pursue a veteran number 2 receiver this offseason. So it doesn't sound like we were going to go into the draft and draft a rookie receiver, at least the top one, the top 2 rounds. And just hearing Brett Veach at the press conference at the combine last week, said there's a lot of depth at cornerback and secondary in this draft. So, yeah. And based on his past, he doesn't really go for the high touted cornerbacks or safeties. So I think it might be an edge rusher. I think we go best player, best edge rusher available. Obviously, depends what we do in free agency up until that point. But I mean, I think if, like we said in the show, Spags relies on a lot of pass rushers, a lot of speed guys in the edge. We just haven't had that, and I think it doesn't hurt to have too many of those guys if we do end up spending up some money on edge guys this offseason and then drafting one. So that's what I think. Edge, but I guess we'll see.
Right. And I guess, because I'm kind of asking that because now when you have somebody like, Russell Wilson gets here, right? The type of weapons he has around him, like you said, is this right here. We got to concentrate. Veach has got to say, look, man, all right, this thing right here is a real deal. It definitely got tougher. It's much more of a challenge. What do we do to contain this guy right here? Right. And so I don't. What they don't have I'll say this, what they don't have in Denver, I don't think is the caliber of receivers like Russell Wilson had up there in Seattle. So that'd be the kind of thing that they got to kind of deal with. They don't have a DK Metcalf and they don't have a Lockett. So that's there you go. And then you just lost your tight end too. So we just had to see. We just had to see.
You know what? My opinion, you get a well-experienced Russell Wilson added to the AFC West, he's still not better than Herbert. He's still not better than, to me, Derek Carr. I mean, stat-wise, he is.
Okay.
But you get younger talent that's able to make the same throws, maybe not impress you more offensively that Russell Wilson does, but, Derek Carr's putting up some great numbers. And Herbert, has proven since he stepped into the starting role that he's a top quarterback. I think he's a top 10 guy also. But to me, I think he's the fourth best in our conference, even with all of his accolades.
Really? Wow.
Just my opinion.
I got you. That's, I don't know, man. I tell you what. Look, I like both those guys. Herbert and Carr's really talented. I know Carr's struggled over the years. Justin's come in and he's got some guys on the outside. We know that. Some good tight end. So he said fourth in the conference. I don't know if I agree with that. Not at all. I think, to me, Patrick, Russell, Herbert, and then Carr. That's how I would put him. That's my opinion.
All right, I'll say this. I'll take him over Derek Carr. I won't take him over Herbert.
Okay.
You're speaking from like a current, like right now?
Yeah, like right now. Not back, before Russell was proven, but at the rate that these two young guys are playing, Herbert and Carr, I would take Herbert before I take Russell Wilson. Bigger, makes every throw accurate. I just like his build up, and take nothing from Russell.
Right.
That I just take Herbert over him. Now, Derek Carr, different situation. But yeah, for me as a GM, I take Herbert over Russell.
It's a good argument. You could definitely argue the point for sure. I just know, man, with a guy with 9 Pro Bowls, Super Bowl. I mean, and a wily vet. I get you. I get what you're saying. Like you're saying right now. Okay, I can see that argument for sure.
And trajectory-wise, if you look at Russell Wilson's last 2 years, I mean, you can say O-line issues in Seattle kind of plays into that a little bit, but last 2 years, the stats haven't really been, the Russ that we've known. Someone brought up a good point on Twitter. If you look at the bottom half of offenses that allowed sacks last year, Broncos are right there with Seattle. So they do have some troubles to kind of fix on the O-line as far as pass protection. So that's something they're going to have to fix. And that's something that Russell's going from Seattle, which he had a big problem with them not addressing the offensive line. He's coming to Denver with a team that has pass protection issues. So that'll be interesting.
Russell is really, really accurate. This is the thing with him that I kind of noticed. He's very accurate. He can make the short throws. He can make the long throws. He is a chunks guy too. He loves to go down the field. And that's what gives him, gives up a lot of sacks offensively because he wants to go for that big throw. They don't, kind of like us, we don't like throwing the slant when you can take that 4 or 5 yards and try to, let a receiver break something. We don't like those hitch routes. We want the chunks. And that's kind of where Patrick gets in trouble because, we've kind of designed those chunks. We still don't have slants thrown into our offense. We have crossing routes, short crossing routes. And if it's not a crossing route, it's a let Pat improvise and somebody scramble open, then we catch it down the field. But as far as like the 3-step drop, boom, we don't do those. We're a gimmicky team. And I think over the years, Russell has become that same quarterback. He's not that 3-step quick slant. He wants to jump. To me, just what I've seen. That's what a lot of DK Metcalf is catching. That's what a lot of Lockett's always catching something deep down the field. And a lot of the stuff with Russell is scrambling in the backfield, making plays. And yeah, he's, like I said, improvises and does well with it, but you still got to, be able to make those 3-step drops. And that's something we got to add to our offense. And I know I said this to you guys earlier, like, I don't know why we don't line Kelsey up outside one-on-one and throw a fade route or, try to take advantage, especially down in the red zone. I don't think there's a linebacker that can cover him. And they try to put safeties on him. He's too big for those guys. And we don't try to take advantage of that kind of stuff. Even the back shoulder throws, we don't even throw those. Like there's a lot within our offense that we stay away from.
All this is going to change. You know that, right? Because we got Flash. Flash is here. He's here. He's here, baby. Flash is here. He is here. Yes, sir. All right. Yes. Hey, he's found a home. Hey, he's going to have a whole off season to get everything right. I'm pushing for it. I'm going to see. So if they don't add that to the repertoire, seriously, put that in your bag of tricks, whatever it is, you got to. You got to put that all in your bag. So that's what I'm looking for. And, we get the other guy, the other receiver, but, that's shoot. Let's see what Flash can do.
I mean, he seems excited. I mean, based on his tweets.
He's excited. Yeah. Shoot, he should be. Listen, okay, look, that's a whole different topic discussion, but the man's happy to be here. I think he knows who's in the building. He gets to be in the building. He gets to come in, get his feet really wet the way he wants to, right, and dominate, get some connection and some chemistry. Now he's got the whole kit and caboodle, so now the coordinators and all that could work with him. Andy, all of those could work with him. So, so use it for what it's worth, so that's where I look at it.
Yeah. And we'll see what the team thinks of him as far as who we bring in this offseason, who we draft. If we only bring in one veteran receiver, then obviously it speaks to what the team thinks about Josh Gordon's potential in the offense. So I guess we'll see on that.